Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, SPC-205. Whatever time you're consuming this little piece of academic media, I am once again Victor McInnes, your public speaking instructor, coming to you live on video from the sun-drenched campus of Aiken Technical College here in the beating heart of the Graniteville, South Carolina metropolitan area. Remember, Aiken Technical College, your #1 choice for higher education in Aiken County. Hey class, today we're going to be talking about a problem solution speech. It's your next speech. Real quick, in a problem solution speech, you have a problem, then you have a solution. That's it. Good night, everybody. Have a good... No, that's not it. Yeah, that's basically it. But there's a lot more involved than that. There is a problem and there is a solution. But within your problem and your solution, you have to have some component parts, okay? First of all, when you're picking a topic for problem solution, go back and look at the list of things I said you can't do. Like you may be truly passionate about pet adoption, but I don't want to hear that speech again, okay? Pick something you care about. Pick something you're passionate about. Pick something you want to tell us about. If you're worried that that topic's not going to be good for the class and it's not going to be approved, shoot me an email and let me know, ask me, hey, can I do this? So pick a topic you care about. Pick a topic there's a solution for. Okay? Pick something that it is reasonable that we can expect to be able to solve in our lifetimes. Like the Mississippi River is jumping out of its banks and it's happening too fast for people to do anything about it. It's just going to cut a new course. Well, you can't give me a solution for that because it's an insolvable problem. Okay? Then finally, try to pick a topic where there's evidence. I know you may be personally upset about something and you want to solve it, but pick something where you can find evidence. Now, there are very few topics where there's not a lot of evidence available. Okay? That I get. All right? But make sure you pick one that's actually doable. Okay, now let's talk about the organization of the speech. The first is indeed going to be the problem. And the problem has two constituent elements. There is the cause of the problem and the effect of the problem. Okay? Cause and effect, we've already talked about that. The cause, okay, is the origin of the problem. Usually it's good. You're going to be able to see that. How's that looking? How's that looking? I know this is your favorite part of the lecture when I come up to look and see if it can be seen. The origin of the problem, and I put the number 1. For this speech especially, and out there in the real world as well, it's best if you can narrow because problems always have many causes. Our failing math scores, okay? There's a lot of reasons why we're doing that, but pick one. Year-round schooling, that's one. That's not the only cause, but that's the one you're going to focus on, okay? And make sure that this cause is fixable. Make sure we can do something about it. Now, the effect boils down to one word. Significance. Why do I care? I used to have a boss who was a 3-star Air Force general. He would have to sit through a ton of briefings. Once he figured he had, and we would used to warn people about this, once he figured he had a pretty good idea about what the problem was, he would just say, okay, so what? Okay? And people would, and a lot of times that would throw people off. And they would go, excuse me, sir, what do you mean? And so what? Why do I care? What's the significance of this that you're briefing me on? What do you need from me? How does it impact me? Back when during the Clinton administration, there had been a couple of high-profile school bus accidents. A couple of school children were killed in these accidents. And somebody came up with the idea of putting seat belts in every school bus in the United States. and they went through how many hundreds of billions of dollars that would cost. But what they never got around to proving is they were doing all of that was really what would be the significance. How many children were being killed in school bus accidents because they didn't have on a seatbelt? And it turns out it was only maybe 1 or 2 a year. Now, clearly, if you're the parent of that child, that is a tragedy. But should we be expending $800 billion in order to save 2 lives? Okay? And that's a legit question that people in Washington should be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. You have to prove that it's a big enough problem because every solution requires resources. You have to prove to me that that effect is significant enough to want that I need to solve it. Okay, now we've already discussed back when we were talking about organization that in many cases it's best to go with effect and cause. And remember, we do that because the effect will bring your audience in. If you prove there's a significant effect right off the bat, you're going to draw your audience in, and that's going to have them more willing to, they're not going to have to wade through the cause. Once you get them in on the significance of the effect, they're going to want to hear the cause, and then they're really going to want to hear your solution. Okay, let's move to the solution. Now, the solution has 2 parts. And you're going to have to prove both. First, viability. Can we do it? Is it possible? Okay. A possible solution for resolving global warming is to build a dome over both the North and South poles to protect them from the heat coming from the sun. Can we do that? No, of course we can't do that. That's ridiculous. Okay? You have to prove that your solution is viable. Second thing you have to prove is that your solution is effective. Can we do it? Will it solve the problem? Okay? That's called efficacy. Okay? Problem, solution, solution. You have to prove that your solution is something that can be done. Easiest way to do that, find somebody that's done it already. Okay? Year-round schooling will improve our math scores. How do we know that? Well, it can be done because the United Kingdom has already done it. It can be done because the state of California has already done it. It can be done because Columbia, South Carolina School District has already done it. Okay? Then prove efficacy, or that your plan will effectively solve the problem. When California went to year-round schooling, math scores improved by 14% in 1 year. Okay? If it's something that's never been done before, you need to find a subject matter expert and have them say, it's my opinion, this will work. Okay? So it's that simple. You have to prove a problem. You have to prove that there's an effect that is significant and impacts your audience, like we've talked about before. You have to show what at least one cause is, and hopefully you should pick the main cause. You need to find a solution, and then you need to prove viability, or it can be done, and you need to prove that it's effective, or you need to prove its efficacy, that it will solve the problem. And the simplest way to prove that, again, that it can be done is to introduce, like, you're asking, can this be done? Well, yes, it has been done in California. You're asking, will this solve the problem? Let's talk about how effective this program was in Spokane, Washington. Okay? Now, Here's where you're going to get tripped up. And I need you to really listen to this part, okay? Really listen to this part, okay? No, I'm not going to do it a third time. With any problem, there is multiple causes. With any problem, there are multiple solutions. You have to make sure your solution is tied to your cause. Let's take a quick example. It's a very fast lecture today. On-campus drinking. The effects. Drops in GPA, criminal activity, law enforcement engagement, student deaths. Okay? You can have a host of effects. You can have any number of effects. Get some big ones that really grab people. Okay? Possible causes. Student boredom. Availability off campus. Fraternity parties. Let's go with unregulated fraternity parties. Okay, and you can go on and on with that. Usually when I use this example and there's students in the classroom, we come up with like 10 or 12 different causes. Okay, let's talk about your solutions. Okay, so here's one solution. Close all the bars off campus. See, we had an availability off campus. Here's one of our causes. Close the bars. Viability and efficacy. So, if I'm the president of University of South Carolina and Columbia, and I know, or Auburn University, I know just about every college there is, okay? Starkville, Mississippi, quarter mile from the edge of campus is the Cotton District, which is just a street lined with bars. Okay, at Auburn, it's College Street. It literally runs, it's one boundary of campus lined with bars, okay? So our solution, I'm the president of the university, and the solution you brought to me is close the bars, okay? Can I do that as the president of the university? No. This plan is not viable. Doesn't make any difference what the efficacy is if it's happened in other places. I don't have that authority. Now, can we advocate for closing the bars? Absolutely. And at Ole Miss, the university advocated, and they, through state and local government, and they were 80% effective in decreasing student arrest. That didn't happen. I will tell you, they've never closed the bar anywhere near Ole Miss. I just saying. But that's just, yeah, advocating for closing the bars. Our solution, Mr. President, is that you place a priority in advocating for closing bars immediately across from college campuses. We think you can do that through the state and the local governments. You can engage the state legislature and the local city council and ask them to pass ordinances that push back liquor licenses to a quarter mile from campus. Advocating you can do. Closing the bar you can't. Okay, let's look at another solution. Okay. Increase campus enforcement or increase campus violation penalties. Mr. President, we've had a problem. We have a number of students every semester getting arrested for damaging university property while they're intoxicated. And we're going to recommend to you that if any student is involved in damage of campus property, that they be immediately suspended for 1 year from the end of the semester they're currently enrolled in. So if they are caught damaging campus property in the fall semester, they will immediately be suspended and not allowed to re-enroll until the fall semester of the following year. Okay. Can we do that? We have the legal authority. So yeah, we can do that. Okay. Will it be effective? Well, they did it at University of Idaho, and it cut down on the number of on-campus, on destruction of campus property by 62%. Okay? All right. So that's problem solution speeches. They seem relatively simple. I will tell you that the one thing that everybody seems to forget when they're doing this, and it's going to show up, I'll go over the rubric with you fairly soon, but the one thing that they always forget, prove to me your plan is going to work. Prove to me your plan is going to work. Okay? That efficacy, the fact proving that your plan is effective is the one thing that people seem to drop the ball on. Okay? It's real simple. Your problem includes the cause and the effects. Your solution has to include viability. Hey, you're asking yourself, can we actually do this? And I'm going to show you that we can. And its effectiveness. And you're asking yourself now, well, we can do this, but will it solve the problem? Let me say that yes, it will. And then you offer us proof. Now, here's the thing. Cause and effect, viability, efficacy. That's 4 different things. You may need to have 4 pieces of evidence in this speech. You're required to have 3, but if I don't think you've proven your point, if I think you need evidence to support your ideas and you don't have it, I'm going to call you on it. It's that simple. Okay? That's problem and solution speeches. I will be posting an example of one here in the next day or 2. All right, that's it. Problem and solution speeches are out. It's out there. Come to me with any of your questions. As always, I will be happy to answer. I answer all your emails. I will be happy to set up an in-person meeting with you, either via Zoom or we can schedule one on campus. However you want to talk to me, stay in touch, and so that we can work on this speech together. Okay? All right. That's it. Stay safe. Stay in touch, and we will see you soon.